It's not too bad. I don't know, for some reason, when I'm in the game, it seems to stutter more, but when I'm out of the game, it seems to record fine. I can't remember, I keep on looking at these things, whether I wanted to do game capture, window capture, or display capture, whichever one it was. Let's take off that. I think game capture wasn't too bad. I'm streaming at 30 FPS, but that's not the reason. I think it's just maybe my CPU can't handle the streaming overlay and the thing as well. Oh well, it'd be all right. I do actually want to quickly try display capture as well. That comes off. So we're now in display capture mode. I think we're in display capture mode. So that's even worse, isn't it? Yeah, that's even worse. Jesus Christ. That'll just load up. Sweet. Sweet Carolina. Something like that. Hey, Ungurs, welcome. We will start this series in earnest now that you boys are here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another caster series on eSoc TV. My name is Harrison, and we are back with Hidden Cup number 2, Qualifier number 2, round 1 between Ungurs and SteppenWolf. This matchup is between our favourite for this qualifier, Ungurs. He's ranked number 1, and SteppenWolf is a bit of a latecomer, asked to come in at the last second to replace some fallen comrades. And what on paper should be quite a simple one for Ungurs, but then again, Ungurs, I have beaten Daddy Ungurs before. Upsets are possible. Anything can happen in tournament games. Preparation is king, and we get to see all this action on these tournament ranked games. Game number 1 is a French mirror on Central Plains. Ungurs points to the northwest in the colour blue. SteppenWolf playing as the colour red, points to the southwest. And I talk about preparation, but Daddy Ungurs has gone for the wrong trading post. I'm a bit disappointed by this to kick us off the game, although he's got himself the beautiful a la baguette explorer. Look at that one there crossing the map. He's gone for the middle TP. I don't actually understand why he'd want to do that, because he knows that the trading post line always spawns from right to left across this map, regardless of which inversion of the trading line it is. And if you're spawning the top side, if this TP spawns here, you can get it as first past. This is a guaranteed first past. SteppenWolf being somewhat smart and saying, you know what, I'm not going to fight for your TP. I'm going to sneak in the back door and get a very safe but somewhat delayed TP. SteppenWolf has already got that XP. Ungurs has to send his first shipment in naturally before his first pass experience points. Like, that's a slow first pass, that is, from Ungurs. I'm a bit... We talk about tournament maps, we talk about preparation, we talk about being in the right zone, in the right frame of mind, and that is not how you want to kick off your tournament, but it's okay. What I've learned from these players is actually the stuff like where your TP placement is relatively minor compared to micro and ability to judge the game, macro, and other skills come in. But oh no, Ungurs actually, this treasure micro, he's shooting this tiger out of the ring. He's got to come from behind, and as soon as the shots leave the barrel, fire and move, and you point the tiger in whichever direction. So you might see one more fire and move, and then I think Ungurs will call this one back. He won't move. Yeah, he won't move. He wants to call the tiger back. He does not want to push out the circle, and actually a well-recovered situation there from Daddy Ungurs in the back. But there are two players in this matchup. We do see SteppenWolf being our other player, aging up. 13 villagers going for the quartermaster. Let's check in with Ungurs. He's going for a 15 villager age up? What's going on over here? No, he hasn't gone 15 villagers, has he? There's a pop somewhere. There's a pop somewhere. Where's this pop? He's got a pop somewhere. I have no idea. Is it extra second? I'm confused. I literally got no idea. He hasn't got an extra military unit. Can somebody help me? Where is 14 CDBs, nothing in the town centre. All military units is just explorer and scout. I've got no clue. I know. I thought the treasure micro was amazing to cast, but I've lost population somewhere. Somewhere this man Ungurs has got an extra 1 pop. And I have no idea where it is on the field. I think it's a bug, but I don't know. I'm. Where is it? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it's this. The fog up here. Where is? I can't see it. Can you guys see it? The treasure. Oh, it's a wood. Oh, it's a population treasure. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. So he hasn't even got a house. Okay, now. Wait, no, I'm so confused. What is going on here? Ungurs a settler. Oh shit! I thought it was. I'm not gonna lie. I'm used to having settlers, so when I do a settler count, it adds it. That is called a reinforcement bias. Well, this has been a shocking way to start the series, isn't it? I do humbly apologise. Leslie saying who's casting? Uh-oh. Name's on the bottom right, have a look. And make sure you pass that and never come back to it. Right, scrap that. Both play. Ungurs going 14, stepping up 13 Vil. Ungurs in 4, CDP dropping defensive stable, playing standard behind this, going for steel traps as in transition. SteppenWolf here. Defensive rats going for musketeers defense with church extra experience points in behind. And does have himself the steel traps behind this position, going 700 wood afterwards. SteppenWolf 700 wood coming in much faster than Ungurs is because he's aged up 1 villager earlier and has access to the earlier pass experience points. May have got himself 1 extra experience treasures behind us as well. 5 musks moving up to siege. And even SteppenWolf is thinking, oh, I bet you Ungurs has got his thing on the side. And have I? Oh my god, I've got Friend of Foe colours on. We'll have none of that, thank you very much. That's better. Yeah. We're getting there, boys. We're getting there. So Steppen has got no clue where this TP is. Okay, he's scouted with the native scout. He knows it's not here, so he must deduce this middle site. But he's just going to work on the 80 wood treasure. Nice little extra pickup there, but he's got 400 wood left over thanks to the 700. So stable and probably 3 more houses. I wonder if he is actually looking to stage 2 play from this point of view. He is sending in 700 gold. He got quite a low amount of villagers on gold gathering, so I'm expecting it's enough to a safe Minutemen pop and the 300 remaining for the age up to play behind. No, to age up behind, should I say, if needs. 1 villager with no great coats exposed here. That will be going down, unfortunately. Rest in peace. Musketeers do get a little bit of shots and hussars, but the Ungurs moving in and out pretty quickly. Nice little raid, and the game moves along. I know, Harcher. I wish that was just like an 80 wood treasure. Be like, okay, he's got some wood. He gets to chop down an extra house in transition. Something simple like that, something I can keep up with. But no, sometimes you see it's like a little bit of rust coming on the side. So a 10 huss semi here from Ungurs, not going for the 5. I think it's because he wanted to go for 4 vil. 700 wood, 700 gold. Does have 600 wood left over here from Ungurs' point of view. So that's the player in blue. Wonder if he will go for a second train post. He only has 1 stable, so he does need to get double racks down at some point if he wants to do skirm heavy. He might just do single racks and maybe focus on Cuirassier Dragoon in the 3rd age. I know Ungurs is keeping this wood as a little bit reserved. Maybe he just wants to wait and see how it goes. I don't imagine he wants to save it up for a town centre in the next stage. That would be hold on to the wood for a little bit too long, but you never know if Ungurs is feeling rather greedy, and SteppenWolf is confined to his base with defensive, immobile musketeers, and Ungurs may be able to get away with that with his explorer. He is currently taking, or should I say, she is currently taking a nap in the middle of the battleground. I'm sure she'll get up once Ungurs revives that explorer. Currently sieging down a trading post with low siege units, so that'll take some time. SteppenWolf gets up to the next stage earlier with the 10 husks. So 10 musks semi. I think he trained 2 batches. He's only got 9 musks out in the field, so 2 batches. Pretty quick. Now sending in skirm, train skirm goon. Meanwhile, Ungurs, with his play behind, has now got the racks. He's now actually invested in that wood. So yes, he will be going for just standard play of rack stable, a couple of houses behind. Some players may think about getting amalgamation at this point, but it's probably safer just to get into housing, because you know you'll be training units from double buildings, sending shipments, likely 2 or 3 military shipments back to back. You don't really want any villas on wood. You want high economy here on the gold and the food. You upgraded this with steel traps. You do have placer mines behind, so that's how you kind of want to carry this on. Hussars moving back. Ungurs may wants to think about researching veteran Hussars with 9 Hussars. That's a lot of extra HP to attack for those units. And from SteppenWolf's point of view, not too much in terms of anti-cav. So Ungurs may have an opportunity to make this Hussar planage to pay off even more. But yeah, no, she gets sat back down straight away. That native scout picking up the Explorer, but the Dragoons and Skirms hot pursuit. A lot of skirmishers here, already leading the skirmisher fights. 13 in favour of, well, 13 from Ungurs, but SteppenWolf should have a little bit more. 14 skirms, just slightly edging it here. Now sending the 5 goons to come in. Hussar's actually still pretty strong here from Ungurs. Is he thinking about upgrading it to veteran? He's not, but there's only 5 Dragoons nearby. If SteppenWolf actually closed that attack in, I think he could have actually picked himself a quick victory there. Meanwhile, we're waiting for SteppenWolf's reinforcing 5 Dragoon shipment. Yep, they are there on the field and just have 1 Dragoon still in queue. Likely to get another batch of 2 to 3 Dragoons. He's seen the Hussars. I think he realises that he can win the Skirm War, but he needs to get enough Dragoons to pick off these Hussars. The Musks are still around sieging the trading post. This is actually quite a nice little play from SteppenWolf. The advantage, momentum, shall I say, certainly in his favour for the time being. Ungurs, yeah, he's done double Skirm ship and 7 Skirms behind this. Maybe the Falk, 2 Falcons instead of 7 Skirms, could have been slightly more impactful in this situation. Dragoons moving forward and pushing back the Hussars. And SteppenWolf, even after only just sending in 8 Skirms, a couple of Skirms on the field, has the momentum. I think he realises he's down in Skirms, so he does want to get some more skirmishes out now. Again, he could also go for the Falconets. He does have a lot of Dragoons, and Falcons can get some good trades in that situation. Maybe sends it in the anticipation that Ungurs himself is looking into sending 2 Falconets on his next card. Again, these 7 Colonial Hussars, they do have a lot of HP, but they're certainly getting 1 banged by Dragoons at the time being. Not really enough of a critical mass just to jam it in and crush the fight. SteppenWolf is happily kiting back to his base for reinforcements. The Dragoons, the skirmishers have been shipped, the reinforcements are there. And yeah, Ungurs is having to make a fighting retreat. 19 skirmishers for Ungurs. SteppenWolf up to 24, with a little bit more Dragoon superiority than Ungurs as well. Has anyone noticed you hear all these sound effects across the entire map currently in AoE 3? Like, I'm hearing gold mining villas from Ungurs, I'm hearing gold mining villas from SteppenWolf, everywhere. Spooky, spooky. 20 skirms here from Ungurs. He is only producing from a single Rax at the moment. Both players only building from 1 Rax, 1 stable. This feels like a very as mirror-ish as a mirror gets, but I'm seeing domination in the skirm line here from SteppenWolf. Some good split fire there. 5 or 6 skirms went down. Only if they exchanged 2 or 3 there. There's 2 skirms on very low HP there from SteppenWolf, tanking all that damage, but unless they go down in combat, they can still fight and still do massive damage here. Ungurs sending in the 3 Crassiers. I think praying for a cav switch, going for even more cavalry here, training 3 more Crassiers, likely to get a 4, may even cancel Vil and try his best to get a 5th, but I don't think he's got any way to get the gold in for that behind. Explorer scouting, and Ungurs has got. The game is pretty much in the crux at the moment. Ungurs behind him, the skirmish account, investing heavy into Crassiers to dive in. 2 CDB stuck in a house somewhere. He's had to delete the house to free them. It's Freedom Day for these French villes. It's their Independence Day. It's not a lot of goons here for SteppenWolf. 11 for Ungurs. SteppenWolf does have himself 13 Dragoons, but does have 3 Crassiers to block as well. I think the 3 Crassiers is going to be absolutely huge here for SteppenWolf, just blocking the Hussars and Crassiers, but it's the couple of Hussars still alive as well. They're going to really help this cavalry push. Minutemen will need to get called here for defense for SteppenWolf to defend. Well, the Crassiers do go forwards, but the Dragoons are focused down one by one. Yeah, the skirms are numerous here. They can certainly pick down the Dragoons, but with not enough anti-cav here from SteppenWolf's point of view, and this Cuirassier switch being very pivotal. I think all the Dragoons here from SteppenWolf will go down, leaving about 3 Cuirassiers on the field, 1 Colonel's Hussar, a couple of Dragoons there were fighting down the skirmishers. A bit of micro needs to be, would have helped a little bit more, but the early micro in that fight was very, very good. You can see SteppenWolf focus on the skirmishers, Minutemen being called, picking off the Cuirassiers, focus firing them down, and still maintaining a skirmisher lead over his opponent Ungurs. Ungurs having to run away with no skirmisher fight behind. SteppenWolf now sending 2 Falconets, where Ungurs actually needs the Falconets to actually deal with the skirmishers. Now sending 5 Dragoons, probably not the shipment he needs for the time being. SteppenWolf sending 2 Falconets, again, not the shipment he quite requires for this situation. Having said that, though, what else does he send? Maybe, well, I mean, it's a unit shipment. He needs units, so I don't disagree with that. But it's actually he needs to reinforce his cavalry, or maybe send an upgrade. Range infantry, possible, probably not. 2 Fats do come out, but you can see SteppenWolf not even trained a skirmisher. He's going all in on Dragoons. He needs to remass his anti-cavalry because he's certainly got enough units here to defeat skirmishers and buildings. Meanwhile, these villagers starting to move out on the map. 34 vills for SteppenWolf. Ungurs 38. I think that is due to trading time. I don't believe there's been too much raids. We did see SteppenWolf lose 1 villager, but a couple of vills here and there, probably from slightly better macro from Ungurs. Dragoons moving in. I think they smell that they have an opportunity to pick up some Falconets. They do see 1 Falc, but actually the unpack, I don't think he had a perfect vision on where that army was. So we'll wait until his own 2 Falconets come, and that's a smart move here from Ungurs. Realising he got such a power spike from the 2 Falconets in the sense that, well, he needs them to deal with Steppen's 2 Falcs. If he wins the Falc trade, there's an opportunity to take back momentum in this game. But if he loses the Falc trade to SteppenWolf, then I don't really see how it's going to work, because there's not enough Cuirassiers to deal with the skirm mass. Oh, the shot from SteppenWolf, but Ungurs will come in and pick this off. He will come in, sure he'll pick this off. Oh, there's the extra volley there from Steppen. That's quite hard when you're being attacking with Falconets and defenders' advantages there, working really well, but the Cuirassiers do dive in, and those extra Falconets won't get too many volleys off. 1 Cuirassier, 1 will swing, double kill, lovely. I think there's a trample mode, Cuirassier. No, he's just moving really slow. Dragoons microing down Cuirassiers, no more Cuirassiers. Actually, 3 Cuirassiers on the back line. The remaining skirmishers here should do pretty decently. Only 12 skirmishers here from Ungurs. SteppenWolf still at 16. Cuirassiers coming in. Minutemen getting some really good value, and overall that fight has been better for Ungurs in a situation. Reinforcement, if you can just basically pick off these Cuirassiers. Skirms onto the Dragoons. The Dragoons here onto the Minutemen. Now they're on 1 HP. We can kind of get back to a situation. But the time when SteppenWolf had this dominant skirmisher lead is basically gone. Oh, you see the Steppen was almost wanted to Z move. He did Z move, and 1 minute then got a full round in the face. But actually, it's so beneficial there from Ungurs with these 1 HP Minutemen tanking a full volley of skirm fire. Once again, a skirmisher taking 5 shots at the very least. Cav combat now for SteppenWolf coming in. Meanwhile, for Ungurs, he's sending Cav combat as well. Both players essentially reaching the same sort of shipment progression at the moment in time. Now have a player looking to go into 1k gold. We also noticed that both players' housing population has certainly increased quite a lot, and there's a lot of free population space. So 1k gold could be very, very good at the moment to ensure full batches of units from your stable, your racks. Just the 1 racks here from Ungurs. SteppenWolf on 1 racks as well. Second build stable coming down here from Ungurs. I think that's going to be a very, very smart play to increase production capacity. So much food here from Steppen. He's looking for gold mines. He doesn't quite see one. He's actually having to cross the map onto Ungurs' side of the map to try and get that. He does have Cav combat on 6, but this is where the 1k gold could have been crucial in this situation. Double Cuirassier, uh-oh. I love how like in these games, like Skirmisher Wars is what's oh no, it's the line of sight here from Ungurs' trading post. Oh, that gives away the position straight away. What a game-changing feature the devs have released has automatically pulled Ungurs' army away from the middle lane, trying to push the gold on the right side, and that's basically the benefit of having line of sight in this matchup from the native post. You get to see where the villagers are when they walk past, and Ungurs is stepping on the gas now. He wants to really push his advantage. You can see how he's going to focus down the Dragoons here because he knows he's got a double batch of Cuirassiers coming in. Where are they popping? He's only got 2 in queue. He needs to cancel out Skirmisher. I think he does. Yes, he does. He's looking to get 6 here. I think he can just about get a 6 if he cancels the Vil. 5, 6. He needs to kill the Dragoons, but he knows exactly where he wants to raid with the Cuirassiers, regardless if he hits the army or not. Off they go. 8 Cuirassiers on the field. Maybe he had 2 on. Maybe he had 2 just holding back, but here we go. Dragoons having to path block the skirms, but no, it's over. It's over. And SteppenWolf calls GG. GG's been called. Ungurs with the extra 1 villager in age 1, getting a nice victory there and leads this series. I thought SteppenWolf had great momentum during that middle part of the game. I think it was the earlier switch to the Cuirassiers from Ungurs which swung the battle slightly into his favour, got a better trade. The better eco helped him as well, and securing middle gold. I mean, the map spawned even, both players having 2 gold in middle, 2 gold on their side, and 1 gold on the far side. But yeah, we'll have to look at the military trades. I think we'll be able to see how Ungurs can take slightly a better fight. I suppose military population is quite tough. It's not just the population, it's what they manage to achieve. And the Minutemen called here from Ungurs on this side. I think the Minutemen pop certainly tanking so much range fire from SteppenWolf, allowing Ungurs to grab some more units. I think just the 13 Vil age up here from SteppenWolf helped his cause a lot more than the 14 Vil from Ungurs. Ungurs just lacking that early game tempo as a result of the 14 Vil and the mid-map trading post instead of first TP 13. 10 Hussars was certainly a lot of units. Didn't kill as many villagers as I hoped. I think it was just the 1. It may be 2 once we see. Okay, so 1 went down, maybe 1 lost in idling time of the town centre. And we can kind of see here from this point of view, it's just a very clean, constant Vil production. So after both players leave into the Fortress Age, Ungurs is up by 3 Vils, so 1 killed, 2 idled. And that economic potential kind of allows him to eventually, at a later point, get a bit of a momentum. But you certainly wouldn't notice it in terms of the military trading. Very, very close there from both players. If that's the game 1, I am pretty hyped for the rest of this series, because when your rank 1 takes on rank 16, you're expecting a little bit more of, classic Age of Empires 3. The better player takes the better trades, better strategy, better micro, and edges out a victory, but is very certain in doing so. That was nothing certain about that whatsoever. And all it needed there was possibly a gold shipment at the end instead of the cav combat from SteppenWolf's point of view to just get enough units to then crush this earlier exchange before the Cuirassiers popped, and that could have been his ticket back in. Just think 2 Cuirassiers on these villages as well. Very, very interesting. Right, so that's going to be a French win there for Ungurs. SteppenWolf also going French, but he did lose that one. Our band saves are the Iroquois and the Aztecs, and we'll move into game number 2. I would say I know what the next map is. Kamchatka's map 3. I should have wrote down the map on a piece of paper. Yes, it's Pampas Sierras. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Come over and watch this beautiful game. Pointing to the south of the map in the colour of red, SteppenWolf is playing as the Ottomans on a no TP map. Interesting. Ungurs, who won the last game in the French mirror, is chosen to play as the Russians, and he'd be spawning to the north of the map in the colour blue. It's an interesting pick here from the Ottomans, certainly. No trading post makes a TP experience points heavy, a trading post heavy civ. Rather interesting. However, I think there's interesting things why SteppenWolf has gone for Ottomans here, and I will explain why in a little bit. But Ungurs moving in middle map, trying to get the middle llama. I think he does. But if SteppenWolf actually keeps moving forward, I know he's going to go for the exchange here, and I think he's happy to take middle map. come back. There's a lot of actually llamas he could have got first dibs on and probably killed. So potential little misplay there from Steppen. Obviously missing the middle llama is really tough. So taking a 2, it's a 6 llama advantage. Oh, so Ungurs taking a 6-2, should I say, advantage there. SteppenWolf coming out not so favourable. The map spawn didn't quite help his case there. 80 gold. So why do I think Ottomans on this map? Well, I was thinking there might have been a case for, when you start off with all this woods, potentially going for like a livestock pen with the llamas and getting a massive food advantage in the second age. We all know that the Russians are very weak to cavalry at the moment, and we all know that the one thing the Ottomans do the best out of any other civ in the second age, currently this patch, is cavalry. The delis are absolutely insane, and I don't actually think you need a TP to play more of like a classic cav semi playstyle. We do know that the Ottomans have lost their access to the tower and 200 gold. And I think I'll know at TP map. I don't think Ottoman players would want to fast age, but I'm expecting something to see Steppen aging up, going 5 vil, or maybe 3 hussars first, actually to try and get some quick momentum, quick raiding, quick kills, follow up with the 5 vils, get some economy, stable in base, another 5, and raid around with 8 of these superior cavalry called the delis, and then try and age afterwards. Looking at Steppen's deck, he does have artillery HP in age 2, he does have advanced arsenal for potential really strong Janissaries in the second age. If this goes super long. In age 3 has, I would say standard cards, but he does not have 5 delis. He does not have any cavalry archers. He has Abus gun combat. Also has royal mint and refrigeration at the expense of, let's say, Manchu, Bosniaks, or Mamelukes. So SteppenWolf here not favouring the mercenaries, which sometimes the mercenary plays can be the single card which wins many games. Just looking at that card order, I think SteppenWolf wants to invest all that gold into Abus guns as the game goes on, so it'd be quite hard for him to mass Abus guns and then send in the mercenary shipments later. So that's what I get sense from looking at his gameplay here. Ungurs converting a 2-piece settlement to his field of view, but it's SteppenWolf wants that back straight away. Market has been thrown down in transition. Hunting dogs being researched. Villagers chopping. Getting placer mines now behind. I'm not too sure Ottoman will have enough villagers to make placer mines pay off, especially with the double gold crates in his deck. If he wants a lot of gold and lots of units stage 2, he'll probably send it. So I think getting the placer mines here might not get the value back. I would rather see hunting dogs and steel traps, no placer mines, than hunting dogs, placer mines, and no steel traps, if you catch what I mean in that situation. It's probably invested quite a bit of wood onto village train time as well. Certainly the first tier. Ungurs forward with 2 villages. On the back side of a silver mine, this is very smart placement, trying to reduce the amount of angle that the Ottoman player has access to siege the blockhouse. Smart play, and obviously increases the path and defensive area that his infantry can stand behind and range fire, while say cavalry or Jans have to kind of move their way around. Steppen working on 100 XP. That's exactly what he wants as Ottoman. Get those shipments rolling in. 5 vils coming in as first. Defense is stable into the delis. Next shipment, is it going to be 3 delis or 700 gold? I think it's... I would not have sent 700 wood. I don't think he's going to get the tempo he really wants from that card. But I will always be happily mistaken anytime by more experienced players. Ungurs, meanwhile, 16 villagers. No, he's got. Well, he has got 6. Wait, where's? Am I missing something? It's 11, 14. It should be 17 villagers. Has he lost a villa already? I don't believe he would have. Well, he must have. I've already played this game before, and I've already lost. Where the game of where the find the villager in Age 1 has gone. So I'm not interested. I'm not going to pay attention. Maybe, I don't know, some random outlaw blowgunner has tried to find it. It's not a divisible number by 3. You know what? Not going to go there. 5 Musk, 5 Cossacks here from Ungurs, but 4 Hussars with Town Centre Fire and potentially Minutemen should be enough. Remember, Minutemen, bonuses versus Musketeers, a bit of focus, and these will absolutely destroy all the Musks. Split fire. I think these guys can split fire and kill 2 muskets at a time. 2 delis still stay alive, and that early pressure but Ungurs is put on has wilted away. The score almost doubled there for SteppenWolf, but closes back up after the next calculation. It's just savage, and another batch of Hussars do come out. Only 2 there for SteppenWolf, but now he does have the ability to have map control, map awareness, map mobility. Yeah, he's got some really fast cavalry, and Ungurs trained units now will have to catch the cav in his base, and raiding here is going to be an absolute nightmare. There's no defensive blockhouse, there's no cav anywhere. Oh, Ungurs is agent with 2 cows and 2 villas. The naughty son of a... Why would you do that? Oh, he's so behind tempo. Having to send the 700 wood now to maintain villager production, but knowing this greed, he's probably gone for... He's got hunting dogs. He hasn't got steel traps, thankfully, but no idea how Ungurs can really afford that earlier villager production and the 5 musketeers. He hasn't ate the cows yet, so he's only got his 2 villas, which hasn't really helped his momentum. And Russia needs that little bit of a quick push just to get them going, to put some pressure. Because look at the opponent's score; they're just happy, going, "Wow, I've got away with this play." He's going livestock pen, but he needs that now. He needs to eat a couple of his 1 or 2 of the llamas just to try and get something moving. He's got no villagers in queue. Minutemen, by the way, still alive. 24 with a 1.5 versus musketeers. They do 36 per shot. Absolutely destroy the musketeers. Explorer goes down. More XP there for SteppenWolf. This play from Ungurs, I'm not feeling it, boys. I'm not feeling the play, but this Paraffin's awkward. Actually does pull it back, though, so instead of complaining about Paraffin and let the Vil die, actually does something about it. Oh, yeah, does lose 2 Vils. Okay, the entire phrase. Oh, nearly 3 Vils. Oh, just look at the Minutemen getting some massive shots on their musks. If the musks turn on the Vils, they have their backs to the Minutemen, so more Hussars raiding around, all the Vils in the town centre behind. But losing 3 or 4 Vils now from SteppenWolf is not ideal in a situation. Ungurs sending gold behind, but really hasn't got the foods to make the most of it, so maybe he'll just slowly gather it up. Yeah, he does need to actually gather all those livestock to maybe turn age. SteppenWolf is in the next age. 8 Jans coming in. This is kind of where you want that Cav Archer shipment. Because what does Ungurs do versus Cav Archers for the time being? Like, later on he will be able to do it, but... Freaky, does Harris not realise Otto's at 25 villagers? It doesn't matter. Well, no, every Vil matters, though, Freaky. I mean, at this level, if you can keep a villager alive, the correct play will be to try and keep it alive. Try and get your great coats, and every Vil matters. You know, that's what it is. Ungurs 26 villagers, lost another Vil. Delhi's underneath the town centre. That Vil might be at risk. Normally you think that Vil will be safe, but the days are so strong, forcing so much our time in the town centre as well. It's just doing its job over and over and over again. It's going to be close. Oh, survives with 15 HP. Jan's there keeping guard of nearby villagers. And the game just reaches a momentary pause. Looks like Ungurs or SteppenWolf not... He must have seen this hunt. No, he might not have actually seen that hunt while pushing off to the Reyes, but... Relatively safe hunting patch over here for SteppenWolf. I'm sure he'll feel quite comfortable. XP is a little bit down here from Steppen, so I'll be interested to see how he wants to try and push this forwards. He's got 1 Jan in queue for go for another house. He kind of needs some Huss to trap any Strelets. Oh, he's going for a town centre. Okay, so he's chopped the town centre, going to build it naturally, not sending in the wood for that shipment. I'm going to work on a 1 villager treasure, get the crack shot in. Probably should have got the Jans into melee mode underneath these blowgunners. You know, respect the 30 attack. I know his Jans is a very high HP, but that's nearly giving up 2 Jans for this 1 Vil, which is actually why he might give up a Jan. Yeah, he does give up a Janissary, which is a little bit awkward to say the least, but should be fine. No. Don't drag me into... Let's try and rate Freaky's actual elo. I mean, I know it's a bit inflated recently, thanks to things like Sweden and pre-nerf Italy, but he's certainly a knowledgeable player, and I fully respect him. But if you can manage to keep your Vils alive, I mean, I know he's got I did see SteppenWolf does have triple tech villages, so these two town centres, once they're up and going, will produce essentially the same rate as 2.5, maybe 2.6 villages. Don't quote me on the numbers, that's what I feel. 5 cav archers, some strelets, but the Jans should be able to move over to the cav archers. Falcons unpack onto the strelets, and goodbye, at least 4 there. Oh, managing just to get out of the way of the second. I was hoping for another one, but nice kind of trace target lock onto the cav archers will get some good damage. Nay, Freaky. We all know that you'll have to play the strongest Civ of the day. We all know that. You've been playing a lot of Ottoman recently as well, I have noticed. But Ottoman's certainly in that top 5 bracket for Civs at the moment. Vet Jans have been researched here from Steppen. Very smart play. These are so tanky. Not really much that the Cav Archers can do versus Jan in a ranged combat. Cav Archers don't have the greatest attack, and the high HP for the Jans work really, really well. One Hussar being trained. Likely get a batch of 3, 4 for raiding purposes. I think if he goes raiding with them, that's going to work very, very nicely. Probably looking at a 6-8 gun shipment here from SteppenWolf to deal with the Cav Archers. He has seen them. Very tempting for him to save up for the Spahies, though, for like a really good Musk, Huss, Falconet combination where he pushes in. Strelets do have high movement speed, though, so this army can theoretically kite away from the Ottoman army, and yeah, the Spahies are on their way behind. Blue Waffle saying Freaky lamed Italy all last patch and even out to sink people deliberately. Oh, no. Come on, guys, let's focus on the game. And currently, SteppenWolf's Howe is at 35 villas, but still 35 villas, pretty nice. Ungurs at 33 villagers, although he is working his way. Oh my god, he's eaten a llama with 1 villager. Never, ever eat livestock with 1 vill. It's such a waste of food. Under no circumstances should that ever be the case. Oh, Freaky, this is a good time to apologise for out of syncing on purpose, to be honest, because it's never a justifiable thing. Can't justify it. Falcons unpacking here from SteppenWolf. Gets a shot onto the Jans. Double kill there, quite nice. The Falcons from Steppen being pulled in. Ungurs is diving in, and actually all the stress ran away, but there's nothing body blocking. The Cav Archers just ran through the Cav. I don't know if they want to go onto the Cav or the Falcons, but Cav up in close on personal onto his units. And once these Cav Archers go down, Spy is free to rain on the Strelets. The Falcons are still alive as well. This has gone shocking here for Ungurs, unfortunately. All the Cav Archers go down. There's still 4 Spies out on the field. And Explorer snares the retreating Strelets. What great control that is from Steppen. The right unit at the right place at the right time. The Falcons sieging down the blockhouse, but the damage behind this has been caused with the Spahies onto these units is incredible. Also, thanks to the Delhi's high speed, high attack rate, getting a really strong snare on these units. Minutemen being called. Janitors behind. Decent rate of attack. DPS putting down. All the hunt nearby his base is gone, so a lot of villagers actually in the town centre having to chill out. A couple fighting, not going to work. That blockhouse goes down with the help of Janissaries. Oh, a Strelet shipment does come out, but unfortunately there are some heavy cavalry here to clean those boys up. And the Janissaries are working their way on Cav Archer at time. Really nice micro here from SteppenWolf. And this power play pushing out the Spahies and managing to get the units right on top of the anti-cav, clearing the way for this cavalry push, has created a large score lead here for SteppenWolf, and surely the positive position for him to win the game. Cav Archers do come out in the melee mode. Jans in melee will get a decent exchange. Okay, he will lose to Falconets at some point, sure, but for what cost? What the Cav Archers will triple. These Cav Archers are originally trained to actually kill the original Falconets before and protecting the Strelets, but actually they got cleaned up by the cavalry, which is not to be expected. Ungurs marching out of his base onto the hunt nearby, no building for cover. A lot of food, but he doesn't really have any production. Yeah, 1 blockhouse coming down, that's his only blockhouse. He can only really send in Cossacks to train Cav Archers. Yeah, the Strelet shipment got cleaned up pretty quickly. He hasn't got enough gold here for Manchu, which is kind of what he needs versus Muskas. Well, I mean, ideally he needs the Strelet shipment again and train some Cav Archers, but Not going to help, and Market gets denied. No great coats here for Ungurs. Six Cossack shipment out behind here from Ungurs, but they're only colonial Cossacks. And as a shipment goes, it's not a good shipment. Okay, it's a good shipment, it's not a great shipment. If you think of great shipments, you think of 6 Kanye horsemen, but or Kanya horsemen, but the Cossacks are not great there. They're going out for a very desperate raiding party. Actually, we'll get some Vils on the coin mine, but he's also losing Vils at base. The Cat Archers have been snared by the Explorer. Another batch of those go down. And actually runs past the gold mine, unfortunately, so he misses his raiding target. He's looking for Hunt to the back of the base. There's Hussars nearby to catch the raid. Again, more villagers on the gold mine. With the Destroyers out pushing the Janissaries away. Oh no, Janissaries, they just charge. They don't care. They don't care at all. They just charge into the front line. And look at the vet delis on. Oh no, just regular delis. Still kicking ass. GG, and SteppenWolf brings it back with a victory against Ungurs. 1 apiece. Beautiful. I see that big fight managed to capture the audience's attention away from the discussion of of a certain person's behaviour. But nice little play there. Ottoman showing how dominant they are once again, led by the strength of the delis. I think if these guys had the same, you know, the same equivalent attack output as a 1.5 attack, you know, you'd have to multiply the 2.5 by it's 25 is 66% of its equivalent thing, so it's like 2 parts. So it'd be the equivalent of so the equivalent hand attack for a Delhi compared to a Hussar is like 37.5. So an extra 7.5 attack, minus 10 HP, and faster as well. Incredible unit at the moment, and is certainly dominating Ottoman gameplay for the time being. Obviously, you know, we now have a Civ with super musks, super cav, super Abus guns. I mean, you know, the Abus guns are pretty nutty as well. We didn't see any this game, but they're certainly pretty strong as well. And quite a nice little play there with the villager speed text from SteppenWolf. His villager production wasn't too bad. The 5 vills certainly helped his economy nicely as well. I remember the days when Ottoman had just the 4 villagers, and the villager train techs were like 600 resources each. Just couldn't really afford them at all. And SteppenWolf having essentially more villagers than Russia from the entire game, where Russia's meant to be that scaling civ, just shows the power and how annoying those Huss raids were as the game went on. That middle fight, oh, the Spahi's just collapsing on the Cav Archers. The Cav Archers essentially ran through. It's as if an attack move did not go off as intended. Maybe they're thinking they could get a little peek on the Falconets, but once the Cav came in, the Janissaries pivoted around, the door was closed, and the Cav Archers were mowed down at that point. I've got most improved players, Ungur. Yeah. Well, I mean, most improved player from like summer 21 to summer 22, shall I say. You can't improve on greatness at the moment, and he's currently a great player, but SteppenWolf there, I think, won the Civ Micro. It's pretty good to see. So, SteppenWolf playing as the Ottomans and managing to get the big dub on that one. Ungurs there losing with Russia. We'll move on to the next game. God, I am thirsty. Damn, I'm thirsty. Oh. Wow, Ungurs have got a little profile picture of a sword and shield. How interesting. Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 3. We're on Kamchatka. We see Ungurs spawning to the southeast in the colour blue, playing as the Germans. SteppenWolf now deciding to play the Russians after defeating them on the last map on Pampas Sierras. SteppenWolf taking this series back to 1 apiece. Germany-Russia is your matchup, and we see both players launch and explore straight into the middle of the map, looking for those sheeps and treasures. Ungurs managing to pick up 2 goats. SteppenWolf picked up 2 goats as well, trading goats apiece. But Ungurs not actually looking where the goats are going, and damn, they're going to get picked up and most likely deleted. SteppenWolf is going to keep them with them. Oh, that's such a big brain play, keeping them with them. I would not have the micro to keep those 2 goats alive, and would be very happy with my 2-0 goat advantage. But taking a 4-0 in the middle, where if you go in the middle, you're not really expecting to take a treasure. You're just going to move in for the goats, move back out. Only 1 treasure spawns, and that's the 35 XP, 35 gold. Meanwhile, macaques are exchanging goats on the southern and western side of the map, scouting this larger area. I think 2 goats spawn on this island, 2 over here, 4 in the middle, 1 on top at piece, and then maybe 1 in base for either player for about 8 to 10 goats per map spawn. But SteppenWolf taking an early momentum in the way. Actually, he's thinking of taking this, but actually we'll see the German explorer does have full HP, so he can just about get away. Oh, no, the cats have their faster attack on the charge, so SteppenWolf has lost the best part of 80 HP already and has to retreat home, but still manages to keep another goat. Just a 1 goat here for Ungurs. SteppenWolf, 6 goats to his name, and most of them are essentially under his control on his side of the map, so a nice little play from SteppenWolf. Lion saying this Ulan Heaven, this map. It is a good map for Germany. The reason why it's a good map for Germany, 2 gold mines in base, a trading post near town centre. It's quite a large map, so you don't feel too pressured in the rush. It's not up in your face, so you do have time to react quite often. The hunts are not great, relatively not great as maps, so civs who love their high hunts like Brits, like Russia here, for example, will have to push out their base and move out the comfort zones. So there's a lot of things which kind of push the German player to thinking of wanting to go Germany on this map. Looking at Steppen's deck, pretty standard, nothing out of the blue. Does have 700 food, does have spice trait in there as well. No Eco Theory in Age 1, but I'm not too sure if that card exists anymore. I don't quite remember. These things always change. Only the Wood Crate in Age 3. Had the Musketeers as well. No Manchu. Double heavy cannons in Age 4. Sometimes I feel like a civ like Russia, if you get to the 4th age, advanced fortifications, you've got blockhouses on them all over the map already. That card's just send it in, and you've got fortified barracks everywhere across the map. That's a beautiful way to play Russia. We need more tower laymen. That's what this game needs. Beautiful. Take it all onto the ladder. Yuki says he does not like Kamchatka. I think Kamchatka leads to uncomfortable games. I think it's the best phrase. I think everybody's comfy playing on some of the European maps like Portugal because all your resources are in base. It's all nice and colours nice and bright. Can't really get raided because it's quite a tight and closing map. Everybody's happy. Life is good. But Kamchatka, you kind of have to work for it. It is potentially wallable, and I think walling is something which players should do more often. However, to try and control this hunt is a little bit awkward. By the time you get to your town centre, likes to play back herds, and Cav moving will quickly pick off his herding villagers. 2 villas going forward here for the mid-map blockhouse. We do see the age up, and it has aged up with wood. Ungurs liking his 2 vil to cow ager, but SteppenWolf is just going for more standard play. Looking to go for a trading post as well on that 400 wood, it seems, because he's stood there by the trading post site. Steel traps on its way down, so maybe another house as well to get that musketeer batching cube, but he hasn't actually got a lot of gold for that, so I don't think we'll see early musks. Yeah, that gold being spent into steel traps instead. So we may just see a second defensive blockhouse on the 700 wood afterwards, and then start production at that point. Rizzolo saying it's an EP Kaiser Klein versus Maito kind of map, and absolutely. I also think on this map, I think Japan FI mirrors, India FI mirrors, a lot of Asian civs go into the 4th age on this map, just walling up, Yumi ward, triple layer across here, 20 Yumi archers, a couple flaming arrows, and Kaiser Klein throwing his keyboard out the window. Two Uhlans were expecting to greet the Cossacks there, but ran away, leaving Explorer. And is that another female Explorer? Oh, yes, it's the Bavarian one. Yeah, oh, she's dropped her pint. Where's her pint glass? Oh, that's not good. Two more Uhlans there from Ungurs. Oh, that's a batch of two Uhlans. That's really awkward. Is it? No, sorry, pardon me. That's his age up. That's his first shipment Uhlans. He still only a batch of... Oh, he did get a batch of 5. Okay. Nothing to report here, guys. Everything is business as usual here for Germany. Cossacks moving in, Musks reinforcing. But I actually like Germany in this little 5 Musk 5 Cossack engagement. He does have support of Minutemen if he wanted to pull the trigger, but decided it wasn't quite worth risking that and pulling it in. Forces the Russian army back, gets the repair off, sending in 700 wood. Oh, he's charging with the Uhlans, but the Cossacks and the Musks. The Cossacks and the Musks, and they're going to link up. 10 Musks. It's going to be certainly too much for those Cossacks to have to deal with. And might be time for Steppen just to start walking through the front door. Those Uhlans have to find themselves another way around. SteppenWolf having sent himself 700 wood, I believe. Church being thrown down in base for another experienced source. It's safer than a trading post. It's for the price, it's basically a trading post in terms of how cost effective it is. It has a 0.7 XP rate as compared to a trading post, which is approximately 1.00 XP per second. So it's pretty good in terms of cost value. Cossacks chasing the Uhlans. Only needs a minimum batch with a couple Huss Uhlans snared, and Russia takes a favourable trade. More Uhlans raiding to the top side. It's interesting, a player like Ungurs and his raiding potential can force Steppen to retreat his entire army back at home to defend. 700 gold coming in here from SteppenWolf. He does have all his goats. The church suggests he wants more experience points, so it does suggest a Fortress Age play agenda. A couple of villages will go to the town centre, but as long as the double racks here stands, which, you know, these buildings do 45 attack versus Uhlans thanks to their multiplier. This is a tough situation for Germany to break. And with only 5 Uhlans forward, he can just leave 8 Musks behind. The rest of the Musks Cossacks go forward, and yeah, there's no way that Ungurs can realistically siege this position. He's just lost himself 2 Uhlans already. Yes, one blockhouse is on low HP, but as soon as the Cossacks turn up and the other building's firing, Germany's in trouble pretty quickly for this engagement. Steppen has kind of gone from behind looking for reinforcement catches. I think he wanted to wait for his Musks to take any fight. This would be a good time to come in from behind and get the snare and have the Musks firing. Those Musks at home still doing a pretty decent job. Another Cossack does go down. A Vil does go down here. So 23 from SteppenWolf. But yeah, imagine to keep himself a couple of Vils alive. 14, 17, 20. He's only lost 2 Vils so far on this map, Steppen. So I think relatively, I'd be happy with the Russians' position in terms of still having map control, still having a standing army. Not fearing these Uhlans, but Ungurs with a... Was that a 15 Uhlans semi? It might actually be a lot of units upgrade on the next stage, and I think as a German player, sometimes you have the ability just to keep on spamming these units because you are going to upgrade them, so they're not wasted units in the second age, and with this many units, this TP is relatively free to take, and good play from that, I must say so. Germany can now send the infantry combat card. Yuki, what's that? I didn't say that. I hope I didn't say that. Definitely didn't mean to say that. I know I definitely didn't say that because it doesn't exist. I suppose hand infantry combat for Doppelsonders, but going Dops is an interesting unit. It's a nice unit to kind of add to an army, but it's not your main unit. Interesting how Ungurs only has Jaegers, Black Riders in his deck versus Russia, not having any Bosniaks. Having some mercenary cavalry versus a Civ weak to cavalry be certainly an interesting shout. Also, Germany has access to Harkebusiers, I believe, so, you know, if you want a different cavalry option from the Bosniak, but I'm Team Bos all the way. Those units are way too spicy. Massive Ulan raids to the top side. The Cossacks here on the auto-engage. That's quite awkward, actually. Gonna lose a couple of those. Hopefully pulls them out in. Might have to say goodbye to at least all 3 of them, but the Musks do come behind just to try and get some sort of exchange. 3 war wagons, a couple of skirms out in the field here from Ungurs as his opening gambit. Cav Archer production has started behind. Let's look at SteppenWolf's point of view. This is going to be a tough hold from him. I will say it's not going to be easy. Opening up with veteran musketeers, sending falconets. I think the idea is he knows he's not going to win the skirmisher fight, so he's not really going to start the Strellet production. So all he needs is Cav Archers, upgrade his musks, protect the falcons from the cavalry, and he should be able to hold on any fight. But Ungurs needs to realise he has the mobility advantage. Speaking of that, Explorer going for a backdoor sneak, a little look around the place. A couple of Uhlans going for a raid. But these musks are not fearing anything. They're thinking just a couple of skirms, that's easy pickings, and actually marches in chasing after them. Falcons going to spawn from the forward blockhouse, most likely, and they'll be dragged into combat when they're needed. Yeah, no, it's not 6 war wagons, it's 3 plus 3. Lion thinks the 9 Uhlans is one of the greatest shipments in the game, but it is only 6 plus 3 Uhlans, where Cav Combat is Cav Combat plus 3 Uhlans as well, 8 Skirm plus 3, 1k gold plus 3. So it's only the Uhlans where those numbers kind of stack up in a weird manner. Otherwise, you'll see the massive 11 next to that skirmisher name, and just think, I mean, 8 Skirms plus 3 Uhlans is amazing. Like, is it even more amazing than 11 skirmishers? But still, the thought of 11 skirmisher shipment for like a civ like Dutch, ooh, that'd be spicy. That'd be really good. Yes, Lion. Tempo is very good. No, I appreciate how just those extra 3 Uhlans on top of the 6 is very, very important. Is when like that first 3 go down, you still have 6 strong Uhlans behind, and sometimes the anti-cavalry just gets cleaned up by that. Falcons slightly exposed, musks bait them in. The Uhlans go straight into the musketeers, not really trying to pull back or wrap around. Nice movement actually pulls the Strelets back to the back line. Those Cav Archers are a little bit out of position. They are over chasing Uhlans. Strellet Batch does come out. One Falcon still alive, getting somewhat value on the skirmishers. Overall, it's a trade, and trades favour Russia. Bit of supporting fire. Strelets do get some decent shots onto the war wagons. If Ungurs stays, he should be able to win the fight, but as the time goes on, Russia feeling more and more content. Nice backdoor raid though. Oh, there's 4 villagers those Uhlans could have gone for. Goes to the gold mine instead. Will accidentally run into some Cav Archers. That's unfortunate there. SteppenWolf with the big weighing play of leaving the Cav Archers in a stationary anti-raiding position. And they get brought in, whether AFK or not, to actually defend this. I think 2 vills go down, but at the expense of 5 Uhlans. Here comes the next Uhlan shipment. Oh, it's the full 9. In they come. But double defensive blockhouse here is very, very strong. Maybe a 3rd might be coming up very soon here for SteppenWolf. 13 musketeers get sent here to the forward blockhouse. 10 Strelets going to get trained as well. They're going to pop straight into those skirmishers and at least get some decent trades. We might put them back now that the Uhlans are nearby. But there's just a lot of stuff here for Ungurs to have to work through, and he hasn't got an endless amount of skirmishers to push us through. And once the skirms go down, the musketeers are going to just trade nicely versus the Uhlans and war wagons. Skirms and blockhouses on the war wagons. The Cav Archers are dicing down the Uhlan shipment as if it's nothing. More XP here for SteppenWolf. 32 villagers versus Ungurs' 34 plus settler wagons, but these units are cheap and spammable, and the next shipment here from SteppenWolf is going to be most likely going to be the 19 Strelets. I don't think it's going to be Strellet combat. Won't be Boyars because he hasn't got any Cossacks on the field. Yeah. And Ungurs is sending in 8 Uhlans, just basically maintain his cavalry presence, but those cavalry units didn't really achieve too much in the grand scheme of things for that fight. Yeah. Batch of 5, some surviving Uhlans, and another 8 from the home city means there's 10 Uhlans on the field here for Ungurs. Still keeps 6 war wagons alive. These are crucial. They do a lot of damage from a significant range. But a skirmisher count of only 12 is not exactly ideal. Strelets do not want to charge any further. Oh, the Uhlans are going to move in for that one, but they do back out. Musks are nearby. Defensive blockhouse nearby. And now that the 19 Strelets shipment here. I feel a little bit more content here from Steppen's position. There might be a little case of him splitting his Strelets and Musketeers a bit too much. Sometimes just a drag move and Z move is going to work quite nicely. A couple of Musks in melee chasing the Uhlans back. And now that the Strelets backed up by the Musketeers, they're just marching forward and focusing on the Strelets one by one as if they're nothing. They've got faster movement speed. And again, cheap. They trade very, very well. And all the cavalry here from Ungurs is gone, so the Sting has been taken out in the tail. He has one war wagon in queue, but the gold mines in base have run out, so he has to move across to another gold mine. His income is down momentarily, and the Strelets, they're happy to take on everything that's remaining. Skirmishers and war wagons. More war wagons in queue here for Ungurs, but is that what he needs versus pure infantry? It's not really, actually. And yeah, he is quite far out on this gold mine, yeah. He needs the resources now. Sending 8 skirm, 3 Ulan to the... Oh, it's just 7 skirm. Trains another batch of 5, but the Strelets are making their way onto more war wagons. These war wagons are zoned out behind, so actually Steppen can just turn around and just keep prodding these, because these are somewhat trapped behind enemy lines at this moment in time. Oh, Crab, hold onto your horse. This is a best of 5. This is only game number 3, but we'll have to see how it pans out. I do believe, though, if Ungurs does lose this is qualifier number 2. If he does lose this, he will not be appearing in Hidden Cup 2. So this is a really important matchup for both players, but it is the last chance to saloon for everybody. The war wagons dive in to try and protect the skirmishers, but no, they can't really do anything. The skirms get cleaned, the Strelets are still marching onwards, and now Steppen taking the score lead, which is always a bit of a bad sign. He's incompetent, and all it needs now is just a little bit of cav from SteppenWolf to raid the gold mines, and I don't think he needs to. But Musketeers can certainly move around. I think these villagers will start to see this gold mine has been taken up and will probably throw up some blockhouses on this gold mine to protect it from the set of wagons. More Uhlans do dive in. I do not believe these have their cav combat. No cav combat just yet from Ungurs. Having to send another unit shipment card just to try and stabilise. Minutemen getting some decent value. More villas go off to another gold mine. And essentially these 3 gold mines from Ungurs are the last gold mines he controls. 1,000 in this one, 500 in this one, 2,000. So you just have the best part, like 3,500 more golds to go. So it's not the end of the world. But sending cav combat now on 4 Uhlans is not the greatest point from Ungurs. I think a lot of players need to send the 1,000 gold a little bit more often than the cav combat. It is a great shipment. I think he's hoping that by the time the cav combat comes in, he's going to have a full batch of war wagons. They're both going to get boosted, the Uhlans as well, from the shipment. But he kind of just needs to ensure that he's got enough res. Having to throw in the outpost to protect the hunt. Germany's actually at risk of not having enough food to carry on Vil production and getting some good batches of war wagons. He's kind of gone to the point where he has to prioritise the gold income. His forward gold mine's out, so these settler wagons have to retreat back to this gold mine. And that is every single settler wagon that Germany has. If this gets raided by hand cav, that's brutal. These guys, although high HP, they have range resist, not melee resist, so hand cav. These are so weak to hand cav. Colonial Cossacks coming up from the forward stable. Again, taking the 502 blockhouse is just the absolute worst position to take a fight if you have to pick a place to fight. Skirm still managed to survive, but so many Strelets still on the field. 18 Strelets behind. Now SteppenWolf sent his own cav combat. Hasn't quite gone to Strelet combat, which would be 20% combat with Strelets, which is certainly, I think, where he wants to try and win this skirmisher fight decisively in war wagons, but maybe this could be the sneaky play for him to switch into the Cossacks. Look at his resources. He's got so much wood available for a second stable. Vet Cossacks, maybe a Oprichnik switch, Cav Archer switch, just any sort of cavalry just to try and get raids in. And these cavalry are looking for a bit of a raid themselves. Haven't quite found it yet, but they're going to move down to the hunt, and I think they're going to find these hunt villas before they find the gold mine villas, which is actually going to help Ungurs just a little bit. But Steppen is, should I say, he's sniffing the gold mines. He's looking for the gold mines. He knows that there are villagers out wide on the map mining gold, and he hasn't quite seen the gold. Ah, it's unfortunate. Steppen scouted everywhere but where the gold mine is. That's unfortunate, but I don't think it really matters too much because this gold mine is nearly out. 100 gold remaining. Middle gold mine is blockhoused up. There's 1,000 gold on the right side, but the settler wagons will not cross the map for that. They're going to move on to the next silver mine, but that's firmly in Russia's control, line of sight and awareness. And as soon as they see the settler wagons, they're just going to turn in. Actually, SteppenWolf, no, Ungurs is saying, right, I can't get that gold mine. I just have to hunt and maybe sell the market. Ungurs has only got one more chance at this. He's out of gold. So he has to make this next engagement work. He does have 10 war wagons and 13 Uhlans. That's not too bad, actually. They are cav combat boosted. He's got a double batch of Uhlans in queue now, so he might wait for these to fully come out. Settler wagons, with their greatcoats, are moving in onto the gold mine to tank. That is their purpose in this fight. And Ungurs realises his essentially do or die. War wagons lead the charge. But I just see loads of units being trained here for SteppenWolf. Decent amount of gold income. Doesn't have any mercs available. Gets a halberdier batch in Q1, Cossack in Q behind. Strata combat in as well. And from Steppen's point of view, I think he can let this middle position go. I don't think he needs to take the fight, whereas Ungurs has to. So if Steppen can ensure that he takes a decent exchange, notice how he's fighting a little narrow choke point. Musketeers taking the front lead. They're going to melee now. Oh, there's so many strikes behind. Batch of halberdiers on the war wagons. Musks popping. Cossack popping. These are vet Cossacks with cav combat behind. All the musks are starting to go down, so the stress is starting to get exposed. But a lot of villagers have now gone down. Remember, it doesn't really matter if Ungurs has those or not. He's not really getting too much gold. Once this gold goes out, there's only 200 remaining. No more gold for Ungurs. Like, literally, no more gold for Ungurs. He would have to make it, and no, 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 don't! Ah, damn it! Ah, SteppenWolf calls the GG, and Ungurs takes the victory, but that was so close. Ah, I suppose. Still a very strong standard army behind. 9 war wagons, not many went down. Still 16 on the map. Skirmishers not. Oh. And a Preachnik raid on this gold mine from Steppen could have killed the game. As brutal that is. That's a shame. There was opportunities to close out the game. You see Steppen blocking off this gold mine as well. And yeah, just taking the map with blockhouses is certainly a nice way. He's in the fortress age. Potentially blockhouse here and upgrade to fortified blockhouse. You know, I think some people forget that these are, you know, outposts, and if you have enough of them, upgrade them. It's pretty decent. Upgrading their attack to 45 certainly punches a bigger hole versus the cavalry. That's unfortunate, that is. Maybe Steppen needed a few more cav archers and maybe cut down the musketeer production just a little bit, but just to make sure that they don't get smashed by the Uhlans. What a game, though. That was an exciting game. I enjoyed that. It's so annoying. I was hoping for the underdog there. Sent in 1,000 wood. What else could you send? I don't think he could have really sent anything else. I mean, I suppose boyars, but 1,000 wood is a decent shipment, and the 1,000 wood would have been what he would needed to get the upgraded blockhouses, and he certainly needed to start thinking about mill production. But if Ungurs had one less gold mine, if this was walled up and there was no way for Ungurs to get into this gold mine, I don't think Ungurs would have enough res to mass this final army to win. I think Steppen would have done it. But I suppose what won the game was the settler wagon pool. These boys have done their job very well. There were 8 settler wagons, there's only 4. So 1,600 HP got taken or sunk into these villagers who were essentially doing nothing anyway because there's no gold for them. Villager pool with greatcoats wins the day. I'm literally starting to feel like a sore throat coming in as each and every sentence is made. This is going to be a tough one. I mean, at the end, you're hoping that the populations are relatively even, but it might be in the case that not all the musketeers could have gone to the melee into the Uhlans as expected. Quite a lot of these were weak strelets, where Ungurs did have a lot of cavalry behind. That Cossacks was researched in the end with cav combat there, so a second stable would have certainly helped that production. There was just a moment in time where Steppen got pushed with a lot of resources. I think that's what happened. He sent tech, had a lot of resources in, and Ungurs managed to find the small open window there and shove some settler wagons into tank. But apart from that, really, really exciting game that was. I thought both players played that very, very well with a nod there to SteppenWolf, which in other words is actually quite a bad matchup. Right, let's go on to the overlay. What do you see? Ungurs winning as the Germans, shall I say? Well, that's awkward. I've put my civs in the wrong place. Oh well. Go. Hey. So we see the Ottomans getting the dub there for Steppen. He does play the Russians and unfortunately takes the defeat. So double Russian pick now has lost. He played Germany that game. And he lost there with Russia. But he's still 2-1 up though. That's better. That looks right. That looks right. Okay, cool. Right, moving on to the next game. For game number 4. Oh, no, we're not playing story mode today. Might do it at another point in time. But we'll just mind our own stuff. Ah, the big X and bans. Oh, you know what I'm on about. You know what I'm trying to mean, don't you? So it's not the end of the world. Yeah, if both players bans the native civs of Aztec and Eero, and actually in a weird situation, the other native civ, the Lakota, has actually been picked by Ungurs, and he's spawning to the northeast of the map, Manchuria, in the colour blue, playing as Lakota, running across the map with Chaitin Black. Is it Chaitin Black? No, it's just a regular Sioux Explorer skin. Identifying the livestock map that this is. Imagine to dive in, picking up the 2 double spawns of yaks. Now, I wouldn't, as far as I'm aware, I never realised there's a triple spawn of double yaks, but there turns out to be. I know that there's high chances of double yaks in the centre line, so scouting patterns for you budding AO3 enthusiasts out there. If you want the yaks, go to the middle and then go up perpendicular from the coast to the cliff or cliff to the coast, and you should be able to come across quite a lot of these yaks, but this is some very fast moving scouting here from Ungurs, and he's just on yak patrol here. He's not stopping off for any treasures. He's not interested. He just wants to move in and quickly get as many of these livestock under control. But we're having a bit of a hunt control issue back in base, but managing to recover that. Oh, look at that hunt. That's a good hunt, that is. Everything's nice and safe and herded correctly back now, so we're all feeling very content with that. Dakota here converting one blind monk, attacking the other. I mean, it's mainly just so he can pick up the gold while he's attacking the blind monk. 80 gold, very nice here. We do see a market start, so essentially that can get bought into 100 wood. That means a little bit of a faster train boost in transition. That could mean an extra experience batch incoming, which could mean an extra shipment early on. You see how this tempo just builds and builds and builds. But this blind monk should do some decent damage from range. It's only 13 out of 3 multiply, but yeah, that's not great. Even as a converted guardian, that's really not great, unfortunately. I think you'd rather have an infantry unit can do basically double the damage output. But oh wow, another 80 gold treasure by 2 blind monks. The same treasure in basically the same place, ready to be taken. Ungurs has managed to scout out the some wood treasures on the north side. How did he scout that? He might have used a yak too, but I guess no. I think just Ungurs just took a beeline here, went up this way, went around the top side, and just found a blind monk. Just probably waiting for his recharge ability. Nah, this Explorer is pretty nuts. It's a good Explorer. I never feel bad playing Lakota. I feel that Lakota's at the moment a bad civ. That to make them compete, you need to make the full use of the Explorer. Yeah, SteppenWolf should have known that the crack shot was coming in there, because you can't really take a line without support in that situation, without taking heavy damage. I think as soon as Ungurs touched it once, he was fully committed. Maybe Steppen tried and got the treasure to bug out. That's most likely the case, so I don't begrudge him for that. Only the 6 yaks in base. Oh, 6 yaks, very, very nice. I don't believe the native units can. Oh, they can. I swear the treasure gardens can never convert animals. Maybe they changed that in DE. I should know this. This game's been out long enough, but Ungurs is just hiding this and trying to take it back. Real chance to just delete it as a show of dominance to their opponent. Blind Monk moves in, 135 HP with 30% range resist. That's a 3-shot kill in the town centre. Germany is not interested in the slightest to try and take that unit down. They can't afford the TC time for that. Let's look at SteppenWolf's deck, representing the Kex clan. Steppen loves his eco cards. One thing I've noticed, he loves his eco cards. He loves refrigeration, he loves Royal Mint, but here we have Royal Mint and Textile Mill in the same deck. In H4, he has Guild Artisans, but he does not have 6 settler wagons or the Germantown farmers. So I find his decision for Guild Artisans here incredibly frustrating. Why upgrade units which you can't train when you can send 6 of them? He could just send 6 settler wagons in the 4th age. Why is it with pro players having whack decks? This is the one thing I'll never get over. I'll never understand. That annoys me. Works me just a little bit. But it's only minor. I'm sure it won't matter in this game. But if it does, you've heard it here first. I'm annoyed. Meanwhile, looking at Ungurs' deck, has the 3 wood gold cards, has his amazing 3 Axe Rider shipment in the 2nd age. Does have 2 Warhut Travois and camp movements, but I think he just wants it for the 2 Warhuts if he needs to defend a middle position. Great Hunter is an incredible card. Food and food gather rate increase. Might not be needed here because the amount of livestock that Lakota has. So we'll have to have a look and see how that plays out. Ungurs here going for a batch of clubs and bow riders, sending in 700 gold here to try and mass. I think the wood has already been in and collected up to get the clubs up. Only 1 unit trained. That's unfortunate, but I don't think it's the end of the world because we do see Pike Ulan here from SteppenWolf. Ungurs has seen that. He did see that with Blind Monk, so 5 bows should be able to counter all this. And I feel like pushing versus Lakota just asks for trouble. But maybe in the sense... Oh, that will go down. Oh, it doesn't go down! By like half a second, a quarter of a second. That is lucky. Even without any great coats on, that Virgil survives. That is some good luck. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I think these days, most of the Lakota players have to go forward Warhut, go infantry. No longer is Lakota a pure cavalry civ. So I think SteppenWolf trying to kind of, in response, thought he could get away with the cavalries, knowing that there won't be too many cav in the field. Remember, there's only a 3 Axe Rider here. There's no 4 Axe shipment anymore, so most likely not going to see too much cav. But Ungurs there, bam, defense is stable. Sending in the gold for 5 bow riders, and he's just going to run around and annoy Germany as much as possible. And he does lose half HP on the crossbows volley there. Crossbows can't miss these days, so they're pretty strong units. Clubs do come in though, looking to engage bow pike, and they'll do pretty well. And now here come the 7 Seaton bows behind with another batch of clubs. I was expecting Seatons there, essentially because he got double batch of bow riders. We got Dragoon Pike at the moment here for Ungurs. Yeah, probably a bit too much Pike. It's not like we're playing versus Sweden or Dutch with their economic buildings. You need the siege. I think the Seatons would have been preferential there, but we have 2 TP stagecoach, both on wood. Lots of vills on food. A lot of gold reserves from that crate left over, but probably a bit from over chopping there. We're going to see some good batches of units here from Ungurs, but more to the point, he's staying age 2, looking to put the pressure on, and the hunting opportunities here from SteppenWolf, a bit limited. Herds behind the base, a bit out of control. I'm sure he'll get that one worked back in. Seaton bows, really strong units. 15 attack with a 1.5 rate of fire, so they certainly do a huge amount of damage just standing delivering. Certainly can mow down crossbows, but with the multipliers versus heavy infantry, pikemen, dops, they can't do anything. Seaton bows, they might be even better than Aenas. I know it's a claim, but they might be. Anyway, looking at SteppenWolf's point of view, he's sending in the war wagons. A dot pop does come out. Villagers blocking. Very, very nice positioning. Minutemen being called at the same time, and this H2 pressure here from Ungurs is basically being deflected, but it provides enough time here for SteppenWolf to get another shipment in. We did see some of the clubs go off siege in the barracks, but that's kind of what he needed to kind of block and protect his Seaton bows from the spawns there. I'm not too sure he needed to send all 10 off to siege the trading post, but I think that, yeah, look at the amount of units Ungurs has and the amount of units he's already lost so far. I think he could have just overwhelmed and swarmed the German base if he fully committed with everything. 3 war wagons do come out and manage to attack from range. A couple crossbows in there still tanking, but it's mainly the war wagons behind doing damage. Another batch of pikemen do come out. Burrows trying their best to put some damage onto the veteran war wagons. Another shipment on the way. 8 skirmishers, 3 Uhlans, another skirm batches in queue, but there's a lot of everything here from Ungurs. Bit of hand infantry, hand cav, bit of dragoons, bit of archers. It's really hard to know which unit to go for in a situation. And I think I would have preferred to have seen a doppel in queues and send in the 8 skirmishers, so you at least have a 2-unit combo when they come out. Unfortunately, Axra is right on top of the skirmishers as they come out. TC5 will try and micro it down. Settlers will turn and try and fire on them. Yeah, skirms, they don't know if they want to shoot down the bow riders or try and attack on units, but yeah, you need to keep them alive. There's so many clubs sieging everything down. Axe and Explorer does go down, so a lot of XP there. And that can give the XP that Germany requires to bounce back into the game, so that Explorer going down there is a bit of a shame. This is the definitive edition. Look at the amazing graphics and the gameplay. Of course it's definitive. Yeah, if you go back to the old game, it's chalk and cheese. This game's a far superior game to the original. A lot of new maps, new seers, new balance, new quality of life, new questionable changes, but we live and learn, we learn and love, and so far it's been not too bad. Those pikes are still around, but they haven't really got any targets to siege. That trading post for Germany is nice and defensive behind the base. Bowride's trying to get another Vil. Actually, we'll get another Vil because of that Vil taking a lot of damage previously. Another Vil on low HP as well. That gets yoinked off. Setterwagon somehow survives. And yeah, Uhlans just want to chase it down and cut them up. The path in around the trees. Ungurs has to put them straight into the path of the Uhlans, and 1 quick kill, 2 quick kills, and I'm sure town centre fire might be enough. Not too many villas nearby to try and get into it. Oh, the Explorer's up again, and he will get taken down again. Will he get? Yeah, he gets taken down. That's another 100 experience points there to Germany. I think players don't think about the experience points they're giving their opponent as much as they kind of can. If that went down there, that would be enough. Hey, keep moving, keep moving, keep running, keep running, keep running. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. He's not going to lose it. 12 skirms here for SteppenWolf, but 12 Uhlans, 4 war wagons. Looking pretty good. These are only colonial pikes, remember. He's up in the Fortress Age. I think I've just got Aesop cancelled for saying colonial. My apologies. Commerce Age, pikemen. Now researching disciplines or elite club warriors. Sending in the 3 dog soldiers. Who let the dogs up? We're certainly not going to research the dog soldier big button. That's 2,000 food. Can't afford that and too early in the game. But dogs going to spawn from the forward outpost. That barracks is not going down, and dogs do come out. Oh, dogs on to Uhlans skirm. War clubs up and close personal. War wagons will focus down the dogs, but the clubs will have that say as well. And behind this, The Keens are going to do a decent enough job. Here can Elite Bow Riders. Elite Axe Riders? Oh, there's no Axe Riders in the field. That doesn't matter. Germany getting cleaned up. And that XP now goes back into favour of Ungurs behind this. He does have his Great Hunter as well. He does have his TPs gathering, hunting dogs. The economy here from Lakota player is phenomenal. Going for another War Hut to try and increase that skirmisher production. Elite Rifle Rider, Bow Rider composition. I think here he's going for Rifle Riders, but he probably wants the Axe Riders, yeah, because Germany here is only really going Skirm Uhlans, and that's just happy hunting grounds for Axe Rider, Bow Rider compositions. The clubs are still alive. They've got some good value this game within the Club Warriors. Looking to move out and get another siege on some exposed gold miners. And that's the thing with Pikes raiding. You can't send Cav to clean it up because they just get killed. That's probably a real smart use of using pikemen to raid villas instead of cavalries. That Cav can't really defend it. And only the slow moving skirmishers can move off. And just the amount of units behind here for Germany is not looking great. Ungurs sending in. I swear I sent 1,000 food, but it's only because the food shipments. He must have just sent, yeah, 5 Axe Riders middle map. They're charging across now. There's 5 axes, but the Club Warriors already on the vills. Need to put them off now onto the Uhlans. You know, they are there, but the Axe Riders will go straight into the skirms. That might bait the Uhlans away from the Makina rifles, but the Rifle Riders and the Bow Riders will have a happy time mowing down Uhlans, and there's just nothing here to challenge the Axe Riders here from the Lakota. The gold mine fully denied. Skirms were not going to be answered to this, and yeah, that's it here for SteppenWolf. Unfortunately, he types in his GG. He has his resignation letter in, and unfortunately, Ungurs gets the win to win 3-1, and our underdog SteppenWolf, oh, he played so well this series, couldn't quite manage to take that middle game with Russia to go 2 apiece. Was it 2 apiece? No, to go 2-1 up. Pardon me, 2-1 up. But yeah, this game, Ungurs certainly had the measure of his opponent, SteppenWolf, and the difference between the two players was maybe slightly more pronounced this game. And overall, across the entire series, the better player has won and deservedly goes on to the next round. However, we say thank you for SteppenWolf for joining in at late notice. Good performance as well, and good games. I enjoyed those. Quite a lot of those games you just didn't predict the way they played out to be. SteppenWolf almost winning game 1 as well with that French mirror, and I thought he played that excellently. Had good advantages in the early mid-game. The Russian Germany as well, good advantages in the early and mid-game. Strong advantage in the mid-game, it must be said, in that situation. The game that Ungurs won earlier. What was that one? No, Steppen did actually win a game we didn't. You know what? You know what happens when you just forget. Oh, it was the Ottoman versus Russia. Yeah, that was a quality. That was just well played, and that wasn't just a victory. It was a decisive victory versus Ungurs. That was pretty clean cut. So if that French game went Steppen's way, the Ottoman game was a win. And then playing Russia, well, you'll never find yourself in this situation in this game. And Steppen wins the series 3-0. A lot of ifs, a lot of buts. And oh my god, Ungurs here eating yaks with 1 or 2 vills. But I suppose the game was nigh and he just wanted to grab as much final resources as he can to get that final push. Is Lakota still strong? I don't actually know. Not enough people play them to understand their situation, but looking at their position, the 3 vills in Age 1 is still fine, but having access to hunting dogs from the coin crate and then the TP bonus, it's the food card in Age 2 transition to the 3rd age, which is really strong. If you look at the food total, you can kind of see when this food comes in, and I suppose the rate of income is a little bit less, but I think Ungurs has put more villagers here onto gold, because he had a kind of food and wood macro, a lot of wood coming from the trading line. I think he kind of wanted to split that into a more of a balanced, well-rounded economy to try and trade. But all resources, yeah, Lakota Eco, not actually that bad. Probably German Eco would have been a slightly better, but it wasn't for the pressure. And yeah, SteppenWolf did lose vills. He was put under pressure. Didn't train him as well because he had to try and hold on, and I don't blame him for trying to hold on because that pressure, as soon as he aged up to the 3rd age, was significant to say the least. managed to, do well to get back into it because for a while on the age up, it looked pretty bleak in SteppenWolf's point of view. Didn't really see the way to come back in. Did lose a couple Olans early onto the Bow Riders. Only aged up, probably only aged up with 5 pike, 5 crossbows, and that is, he probably needed a little bit more. It's tough because if you train more crossbows and you never really have the time to age, so you commit to it, you don't. And I think Steppenwolf just about got in the window, but it would have been a tough hold and didn't work out the other side. But overall, good game. Well played there to Ungurs. He wins the series. And